We live to pay taxes. We live to work, eat, sleep, and then die. People are uneasy. We have a lot of political tensions. Of course, from recent news, which I won't mention because I don't want to stir up any pots. But people are just not well. They're not mentally well. They're not physically well. And many people feel that their entire lives have been a scam.
Where are you from?
Taiwan.
Why'd you come to Spain?
For ISC.
You ever been to America?
I'm from US.
What part?
Cali.
What do you think society in America could learn from Europe?
A lot, honestly, man. There's a lot more to offer here in Europe and in Asia.
What makes you say that?
Seems like things are less controlled here.
So you have more freedom in Europe?
I think so. And in Taiwan too.
So why do you think it's a common misconception that we are as free as we are in the US?
Well, people in the US don't get out as much.
Kind of live in a bubble.
Correct.
What do you think would happen if more people started to travel, visit Europe and Asia?
Might be a ride in the US, not knowing what they are being deprived of.
What do you think society there could learn and benefit from here in Europe?
Stop listening to the government, man.
You really don't understand how life is supposed to be lived truly until you've left your home country. So many people have been leaving the States to see how life is, if the pastures are greener on the other side, and frankly, have not regretted their decision. Some have packed up and left on just a one-way ticket and never looked back. Some have ventured out for maybe a week or two, a month, just to see if they like that kind of lifestyle. And then some have gotten a realization that they have been deprived their entire lives living in the US. As we know, the cost of living in the US is so high that almost no one in the middle class can truly prosper. So if you're in the lower class, you're definitely not getting anywhere. So as you know, there is a trend of people in minimum wage, middle class citizens living in their car, sleeping in tents, or living in a storage shed. Now, you would think, if you weren't from the US, that sounds like a third world country. Well,
You don't trust them?
Fuck no. No.
When do you actually come to that realization?
Oh, since I moved to Asia, like 10 years ago.
And what'd you learn?
Save a lot of money. You make less, you save a lot more.
You think America runs on money?
Yeah.
So what's taxes like in Asia as opposed to America?
10%, 10 to 12. Interest rates are less than 2%. Yeah, that's a big difference.
what do you make of it? So let me tell you a story about a friend who is a doctor in New York. He came to visit the Philippines for a few weeks just to see how the environment was. And I gave him a tour. I gave him a tour of my condo unit. I gave him a tour of all of the amenities, all of the places to hang out. Showed him my grocery bills, my utility bills, my monthly rent, and he was shocked. He is paying 3 times more in rent than I am, living in New York. And he's a doctor and he makes good money. But still, it's almost like rubbing salt on an open wound. Another thing, I showed him the difference between the ingredients that we have here in the Philippines versus what we have in Canada, in the US, and some other countries. We in the US have too many unknown ingredients in our food products. Maybe it makes us sick, maybe it makes us feel unwell, tired, but all I know is that a combination of long working hours, combination of unhealthy foods, processed foods, unnatural foods, and irregular sleep schedule is enough to wear any American down to the point where they feel like they can never escape the rat race. Since I've been living in Southeast Asia for over a year, I have to say that I have covered all the corners of my life and have adapted well when it comes to living expenses, whether it's grocery shopping, transportation, and leisure. My dear friend has actually might consider moving due to, me sharing this tour of how my life is compared to his. But his life is good. He's a doctor. He can travel anywhere, but not anytime because he's a doctor. He has a very important job. But the fact is, even though he makes good money, living in the US is just not fulfilling. For one, people are uneasy. We have a lot of political tensions. Of course, from recent news, which I won't mention because I don't want to stir up any pots. But people are just not well. They're not mentally well. They're not physically well. And many people feel that their entire lives have been a scam. But many people have discovered a new life, and that's leaving and starting a new life abroad. Whether you want to start a new life in Europe, somewhere in Spain, maybe Denmark, Georgia, not the state of Georgia, the country of Georgia, which is underrated, Vietnam, Thailand, or the Philippines. And I have to say that life abroad is a lot more simpler than you could ever imagine if you've never thought about it or have never traveled. My monthly expenses are just 600 USD a month. And that's just me living a basic minimalistic life. To live comfortably out here, you need at least 800 USD to 1000 USD. Now, of course, depending on what country you want to stay, some countries have better visa benefits for American citizens, and then some don't. But what I will say, people who are living in the US.
Question for people in other countries. Do you want to visit us anymore?
Hey, American here. So, born in LA, lived in New York, but I haven't lived in the US for about 15 years. I've lived in Shanghai, Seoul, and now I'm currently in Melbourne, Australia. Now, to answer your question, let's get rid of the obvious stuff like gun violence and lack of affordable health care and politicians on both sides that really don't care about the people they're supposed to serve. So these are my 3 reasons why I would not visit, let alone move back to the United States. Number 1, the fuck am I supposed to talk to anybody about? Americans are so myopic and in their own little bubble that it's hard to have a cosmopolitan conversation with most of them. And if I was to talk about America not being the center of the world, it would blow their minds and probably cause a fight. Number 2, the food. Every time I go back, I feel so bloated and gassy and sick. And that's because the food there is so processed and full of sugar and just terrible for you. Many countries around the world won't even allow American food to be imported because it is so bad. So why am I going to waste my time and my health dining out at a California pizza kitchen? And number 3, it's also vanilla, boring, and the same. With the exception of like San Francisco, New Orleans, and New York, it's pretty much any town USA. It's the same strip malls, the same fast food joints, and the same suburban households spread out as far as the eye can see. There's plenty of more interesting places around the world that I'd much rather visit that are more cosmopolitan, have better food, and I'm not gonna get shot.
If they had a taste of how life is lived out here, when they have a break to heal from the fatigue, the chronic fatigue, they would have a riot. Most people don't understand because they haven't left this bubble. You know, when your life is surrounded by working all these hours, not getting enough sleep. When I was younger, hearing this old quote is, we live to pay taxes, we live to work, eat, sleep, and then die. Now, in my head, I don't think that's the right way to live. Talking to some older generations, someone's, that have common sense, they tell me that how we are living now is not the way we are supposed to be living, constantly paying 20 different bills, always worried about your health, always worried about can you pay this, or juggling between bills, never having enough to even save. And I'm going to tell you one thing, it is not coffee, and it is not avocado toast, and it's not any, irresponsible spending. I'm just going to say it's taxes, more taxes, inconveniences such as vehicle problems, insurance, premiums, everything. Everything is basically death by 1,000 cuts. As we all know, there's always news about violence, about some protests, about everything going on in the US. It seems like we have so much division and civil unrest amongst each other that no one can catch a break. First, we have the AI that's taking everyone's jobs. We have these little mini wars going on between us, especially political parties, race wars, gender wars, and now we're worried about how other countries globally think of us. Now, I know it's scary, but it's just one of the things we have to deal with. One of the best things about living in Southeast Asia, is the fact that every day I'm met with kindness, and I don't have to worry about any being harassed, or I don't have to worry about being harassed by police. I don't have to worry about my life being threatened, or worrying about a random citizen crashing out on me because they're just having a bad day, like this. So, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.